Are you ready?
We're ready to forget the further, once and for all.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 anticipated horror movies of summer 2023.
He's coming!
For this list, we'll be looking at the scariest films coming out this June, July, and August that already have us screaming. Keep in mind, though, that release dates are subject to change. Which of these are you most excited for? Shriek about it in the comments. Number 10, The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Release date June 9th, 2023. It's been a while since we've gotten a solid reinvention of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster is looking like the movie we've been waiting for.
Death is the disease that broke my family. I'm sick of seeing it.
Set in the modern day, this one trades Dr. Frankenstein for a teen girl named Vicaria, who attempts to bring her brother back to life after he's tragically killed in street violence. Naturally, this being a horror movie, things go a lot more wrong than they go right. Having hit the festival circuit this spring, the movie has already gotten unanimous praise from critics, who laud it for marrying its classic and contemporary influences beautifully.
They called him a monster, and he believed it.
This is one that might make us feel just as much as it makes us scream. Number 9, Sympathy for the Devil. Release date July 28, 2023. No, this one doesn't have anything to do with the Stones song. At least we don't think so.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Ah, yeah.
Rather, this one reportedly follows a man who's forced to chauffeur a stranger at gunpoint. This being psychological horror, though, you can bet what follows may not be all as it seems.
I'm not trying to piss you off or nothing like that, but I can't do this. I can't drive you around while you're around killing people, man. It ain't my job. Tonight it is.
While we don't have much more to go off of at this point, it's the leads that have us more intrigued, as the movie stars Joel Kinnaman and Nicolas Cage as the driver and mysterious passenger, respectively.
Hey, he's not a werewolf, okay? He's a weasel. He's harmless. I mean, he's not harmless. He's killed 27 children, but, you know, we got him to, I think he's agreed to do this.
While Kinnaman doesn't have too much experience in the horror genre, it's always a fun time when Nicolas Cage is around.
You know, I don't ask for much, Renville. You're just the blood of a few dozen innocent people.
While his previous effort, Renfield, didn't make the biggest splash, it could become another Cage cult classic. Number 8, Box Barcelona. Release date July 14th, 2023. While certainly a divisive film, you can't say the first Bird Box didn't dominate the cultural conversation when it hit Netflix back in 2018, for better or worse.
To all of us, because all of us collectively are making the end of the world great again!
With such a recognizable IP on its hands, the streaming service would be silly not to follow it up somehow.
Streets are crowded with people escaping cities on foot. Estimated death toll is in the tens of thousands.
While not a direct sequel, Box Barcelona will shift focus to the Spanish city as residents similarly grapple with the arrival of creatures that force you to take your own life if you look at them. Centering on a father-daughter duo, this one could be the start of an anthology series of apocalypse stories a la Cloverfield. And who knows, if it's as big as the last one, we may not be able to look away.
Lo que estamos viendo no son casos aislados.
Number 7, They Listen. Release date August 25th, 2023. Here's another one we know almost nothing about, but the behind-the-scenes specs have us intrigued all on their own. For one thing, it comes from horror mega studio Blumhouse, which could end the summer just as strongly as they started out the year with Megan.
This is the part where you run.
This one comes from writer-director Chris Weitz, who's had quite the eclectic career, helming films like About a Boy and The Golden Compass, and penning 2015's Cinderella and Rogue One.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director.
In front of the camera will be Catherine Waterston, who looks to further her Scream Queen status after starring in Alien Covenant.
I got you, you son of a bitch!
And then there's John Cho, whose Screen Life movie Searching is one of the best thrillers of the century thus far.
I didn't know her. I didn't know my daughter.
Number 6, Talk to Me. Release date July 28, 2023. Another film that's garnered rave reviews. Talk to Me is an Australian creep fest that got picked up by A24, for American distribution out of this year's Sundance Film Festival.
Put your hand on it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Forget Ouija boards. This one sees some friends using an embalmed hand to converse with the other side. However, when one of them becomes a little too taken with the experience and supposedly contacting her deceased mother, things get out of hand, no pun intended.
Still been saying stuff.
You mean saying stuff?
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it?
Making their directorial debut are brothers Danny and Michael Filippo, who are best known for their horror comedy YouTube channel Raka Raka. If this film is any indication, though, they might be right at home on the big screen.
I like you.
Number 5, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Release date August 11th, 2023.
The Demeter, on charter from Romania to London. Shipping private crates. Contents unknown. Out at sea with no land in sight.
Conversely, if you want to talk about established horror directors, look no further than Andrei Øvredal. He's had solid outings like The Autopsy of Jane Doe and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And if the trailer's any indication, we may just be adding The Last Voyage of the Demeter to that list.
This looks like a bite.
Search the ship everywhere.
In addition to Frankenstein's monster, Dracula is also getting an update this summer, albeit in more familiar circumstances.
He is here. We call him Dracula.
The film looks to expand upon the section of Bram Stoker's Dracula novel whereby the legendary vampire feeds on a ship's crew on his way to London. The isolated setting and design of the creature alone make this one we can't wait to sink our teeth into.
The devil is real. May God have mercy on us all.
Number 4, The Blackening. Release date June 16th, 2023. Every season needs a good horror comedy, and this summer's might just be The Blackening.
Really, bitch? A cabin in the woods?
It starts with the usual cabin in the woods setup, but where it goes from there is anything but. A group of friends celebrating Juneteenth find themselves accosted by a masked stranger who seeks to kill them off in the order of their blackness.
I can prove I'm not the blackest.
Prove it.
I've never seen Friday. I voted for Trump.
What?
Twice.
We can be sure to expect tons of witty humor in this one, as the characters are forced to deconstruct the African-American element in slasher films. And you can expect it to be plenty funny too, as it comes from barbershop and ride-along director Tim Story.
We need a plan.
I'm saying, don't you dare.
Don't say this dumb shit.
We have to split up.
Honestly, this might be the summer's biggest wild card, and we hope it becomes a surprise hit.
Yo, stop playing.
I got a gun.
That's too DMX. What are you doing?
Number 3, Haunted Mansion. Release date July 28th, 2023.
I'm not afraid of a couple ghosts.
You say that now.
Speaking of horror comedies, we'd be remiss if we didn't include the family-friendly horror offering in Disney's Haunted Mansion. Yes, the Mouse House's previous adaptation of the ride came in under expectations, but there's no reason the concept can't deliver 20 years later.
God, give us a break. There's so many bad people in the world. Haunt them.
Amen.
Instead of Eddie Murphy, this one stars Rosario Dawson as a single mother who seeks to exorcise her newly acquired mansion. In comes an all-star cast to assist her, including Lakeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, and a Jamie Lee Curtis fresh off of an Oscar win.
This house is dripping with souls, but there's always room for one more.
Whether all those names translate to consistent laughs remains to be seen, but the potential is certainly through the roof. Number 2, Insidious The Red Door. Release date July 7th, 2023. With respect to Bird Box, Insidious is the horror franchise that'll arguably be making the biggest waves this summer. Originally subtitled Fear the Dark, The Red Door will be something of a legacy sequel, as the original lead actors make their full return 10 years after the first sequel. This time out, Dalton is now college age and his father Josh goes to drop him off at school. However, remnants of the Further are once again calling out and the family will have to close the door for good.
I'm seeing crazy stuff. I think these drawings could be clues from my past.
There's so much you don't know, and I was too scared to tell you the truth.
Making this one even more notable is star Patrick Wilson, who will be making his directorial debut. After Evil Dead just had a successful 5th installment, maybe Insidious can do the same.
When you awaken the dead, the further you travel, the riskier your journey will become.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Boogeyman. Release date June 2nd, 2023. You'd be forgiven for thinking a movie called The Boogeyman might sound a little childish, but make no mistake, this movie looks terrifying.
It's not real. It's okay.
Based on a Stephen King short story, this one follows a family reeling from the passing of its matriarch. But amidst that sorrow and emotional neglect comes a petrifying entity looking to feed on their suffering.
There's no such thing as monsters. You need to grow up. I'm serious, Sawyer. I need to be alone.
Originally slated to come out on Hulu, the film was upgraded to a theatrical release following positive reactions. But no reaction was as positive as the one from the king of horror himself, who reportedly said they'd be freaking stupid to release this on streaming and not in cinemas. Only he didn't say freaking.
What is this supposed to be? It's the thing that comes for your kids when you're not paying attention.
This movie already has us looking under our beds. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.